Welcome, GRAR members. This is Scott West coming to you from the GRAR studio. We just wrapped up our November director meeting. The year has just flown by, and the month of October was very, very busy. Our meeting was actually one of our shorter meetings because we had a very light agenda, and we used that extra time to lean into a couple topics that will get you caught up onto speed. But I'm sitting here with a longtime director, Adam Harlberg.
Thanks for having me on, Scott.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you work? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Okay, well, I work at Green Ridge Realty. I've been there for 25 plus years now, I suppose. This is my second go around on the board of directors, and each time is different, but I'm enjoying that thoroughly. That's one of the things I enjoy in life and work. This time of year, you ask about a hobby. This may sound like a funny hobby to have, but I enjoy chopping wood, and especially this time of year with the weather changing and getting out and doing a little exercise. It's one of my top things.
So, mine's mowing the lawn, which also sounds ridiculous to people, but I look forward to it every week. Yeah. And you've got a busy family life. You were just telling me one of your sons has a football game coming up, so I imagine that keeps you busy.
Yeah, thank you. So the high school season is done, but we've got a couple college football players, and there's a couple regular season games left there. So Saturdays we know where we're going to be, and we're looking forward to finishing out that season strong. It'll be good. They're doing really well at Hope College.
Yeah.
Fun. Yep.
All right, you are the Director Liaison of the MLS Policy and Innovation Task Force?
Yeah, we changed the name on that.
You
guys changed the name on that this year. It kind of caught me by surprise when I first saw that. But yeah, that's one of the committees here at GRAR, and one that I'm really enjoying. It's a group of great minds, lots of experience. And it's a group that really tries to make the user experience more friendly, primarily for the agents who are MLS members. So they've done a lot of work this year. Even as we came out of last year and they tidied up all the things that needed to be changed for the NAR settlement. This year they've worked on searchability, they've worked on some fields, trying to make that, like I said, all the more user-friendly. And I think as we head into next year, part of that innovation piece that got added to the name, I think we're going to see more of a push toward making sure that what we do on MLS is in alignment with some of our neighbors, some of the other infrastructures that are out there, like Mishrick, where we send a lot of our data and everything else, so that those things tie together. So that'll be an interesting work, I think, even as we head into next year.
Yeah. No, appreciate you guys, all the work that you guys do behind the scenes. I think members would be surprised about how much debate would go into the simple changing of one field on the MLS. But I mean, they could spend sometimes a half hour or an hour just debating over a simple field change. Things like RESO has also been a big topic for us, where we're trying to get in alignment with the rest of the country. So when you go on somewhere in a different state or a different part of the state, the fields all match, and that's a big push for us as MLSs.
Yeah, as data gets bigger and bigger, we want to make sure we're in alignment on that. And this is a group that, while they consider all aspects to it, they're pretty sharp, pretty efficient, and they get good work done. So it's been good to be on. Thanks for placing me on that group this year.
Yeah, you don't just volunteer your time at GRAR. You spread yourself, I don't want to say too thin, but you definitely spread yourself around and are very generous with your time. You, over the years, have been part of different NAR roles, MAR roles, and Mishrick roles. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now with those.
Sure. Currently, I'm fresh off of a board of directors stint at the Michigan Board of Realtors. So not super engaged there, although when you spend some time on the board, you know those people and you stay connected, so that's been good. NAR, the role there is one of a committee role, the Risk Management Issues Task Force, and that's been interesting because you see a lot of emerging things from across the country. And I'm also not on Mishrick, but have been. Chris is doing a great job for us there these days. But that's one of those regionalization focused groups in my eye, and that's always been a big priority for me. You know, as we see not just data getting bigger, but the territories that we all cover getting bigger, the more we can do regionally, I think, is a good thing. So that's just a little sampling of some of what I've done. But in terms of the impact of that, for me, it's been nice to gather things at a national level, make sure that we stay ahead of things here at the GRAR board table, but also good to have our influence and our perspective brought to those places as well, so that our members' voices are heard and that we can drive those priorities forward too.
Yeah, thank you for, it's a huge commitment to do something like that. When you start to add them all up, you know, a lot of meetings, a lot of reading, a lot of notes to stay up on. So thank you for your generosity with that volunteerism.
Well, thanks,
really
but you're overstating it. I'm one of many, and I've got great teams in a lot of arenas in work and life, and so it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Moving on, we just wrapped up our board of directors meeting for November. As I had mentioned, it was a pretty light agenda, so we used that time to focus on a couple big picture items that we've been working on the last year or two. But we did have one action item that we needed to take. We have the Community Involvement Task Force gave us a proposal to donate some money to a handful of schools through our schoolhouse fund, and we approved those. So 4 schools are going to benefit from all of the money that we've been raising here at GRAR and our generous members have contributed to. In addition to that one motion, we talked about pretty extensively our annual planning retreat. Tell us a little bit about how that retreat works and maybe the benefits that members might not see, but what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, sure. Something you said about the schoolhouse program and offering some grants this week. That's become a kind of a regular occurrence at our board meetings this year. I don't know if it's happened at every meeting, but pretty close, wouldn't you say?
I would be surprised if it hasn't happened.
I think so. It reminds me of the mission here at GRAR, which is making lives better, people, homes, communities, and that's just one of those outreach arms, and that's all driven by members' donations to that initiative. So I think that's something that has become a little routine for us, but to remember that ties so closely with helping our community become a better place, I think is cool for me. And it's maybe a good segue to talk about planning retreat, right? Yep. As a board, we don't just want to coast into another year. We want to plan well. And this year's retreat was up at a nice spot at Canadian Lakes. And we really just, a good down-to-earth place. We got to do some good work, nice presentations about leadership. We had an expert in on leadership training. We heard from a national perspective from really the company that I think represents the real estate gurus nationally. That's T360.
Yep.
Their president gave us an update. But then we got down to doing the work of giving some shape to next year. And I think all with the focus of how do we make lives better next year for our members.
Yep.
I think is really the focus when we meet there at that planning retreat is what do we want to bring to the table for membership this year? How can we make life and work life better? And so that's just kind of setting the table for it. What things are you kind of thinking about highlighting as we come out of that time together?
Yeah, you know, we took a little bit of time at this meeting to review after things settled in, and one of the things that we did at our last planning session was look at all the committees individually and what are some of the ways that these committees can be a little bit more efficient, make better use of time of the volunteers that are there, and ultimately take that use of time and make memberships experience better. So we reflected on a couple of the bigger changes that we made, and excited to see how those roll out next year.
One of the words, one of the terms that kept coming up for me was volunteer experience. We want to make sure that as members are giving of their time and pouring into the various committees and task forces that we have, how can we make sure that those are rich, meaningful experiences? And I think that really allowed us to sharpen our focus on what's going on with some of those, and maybe affect some good changes coming into this coming year.
For sure. Another thing that we spent, I would say, probably the largest batch of our time today talking about was our communication plan. We put a little subcommittee together to reach out to some members, get a sample pool of how we're doing as an association, providing communication to the members, and what ways might members want to receive this communication. Are there any new ways that we haven't thought about, or that we've thought about and aren't really sure where to go? So we spent a lot of time debating that. Some of the things that we're already doing, we spent some time maybe tweaking or coming up with new ideas to make it a little bit better, to eliminate a little bit of the excess. And yeah, it was a great conversation. Anything to add to that?
Well, I think we've been really keen on saying, hey, what does the audience want? It's not necessarily how we want to deliver it. It's how we want the audience to receive it. So that's an invitation for an open feedback loop for anybody who cares to reach out. Share that with leadership. Share that with any board members. And we aim to please in that regard. We want to connect and make sure that the work that goes on here is meaningful and transparent too.
Yep. One thing that we talk about at every single board meeting is membership numbers. These membership numbers are what drives the financials behind it, how we're budgeting for the year, where we're spending the money, where we can save money, and if we need to start planning for the future. So we really try to monitor how that's looking. Give us a little insight as to what we've been seeing, maybe big picture of the last couple of years, and how that compares to more recently.
Sure. This is all part of the treasurer's report. I'm not the treasurer.
Yeah.
But a good report today. I think membership drives a lot of the revenue and expense that we look at on the financial side of things. And the report was that we're on track. We're on track to finish within budget. Membership's up a little bit. Correspondingly, expenses are up just a touch as well. But tracking to finish within spec in terms of that break even. In terms of membership numbers, 3762 I think is our number right now as we head into November here. And it's dues time, so you do see some attrition. But to compare it year over year, we're actually we're down 9 from last year. So on a percentage basis, it's basically zero.
Minimal.
And compared to 2 years ago, we're up 19. So again, pretty negligible. It's been interesting to watch membership numbers climb over the last decade. We've really seen that kind of flatten out. I think given our last experience with gyrating membership numbers back in 08, 09, 10, a lot of people have been looking for things to fall off, but they've really stayed pretty steady. We're seeing that here at GRAR. You asked about nationally too. Generally state and national things are pretty level that way. So,
and when we say level, that doesn't mean people aren't leaving. That means for everyone that leaves, somebody is coming in.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that really consistently at new member orientation. I always know at new member orientation how much we have by the room that we're in.
How full's the room?
If we're in the auditorium, that means we're over 50 because we can't fit that many in the classroom. In the last month or two, we've been in the auditorium. So we have people leaving, which is natural this time of year when dues are due, but we have a lot of people coming in as well, and it's kept us relatively flat. And that helps with the budget. That helps, the big ups and downs make the budget a little more challenging. So that's been great. That is a great lead-in to dues. Dues have been out. You've seen emails, you've seen newsletters, you've seen Facebook posts about it. Dues are out. In fact, yesterday was the last day you could pay without a late fee. So if you didn't, I'm sorry, but you're paying a late fee today. And I think the hard deadline is fast approaching. So if you have procrastinated on that or missed some of the communication, please jump on that before that penalty gets any greater. Outside of that, you mentioned this has been a very busy month. October leading into early November, we have had so much happening in and around
GRAR.
GRAR.
Yeah.
Most recently, we just wrapped up Emerge. which is
Yeah.
YPN's big event. I know you were there.
Yeah, I was. I'll cover the morning session and maybe let you
Fair.
touch on the afternoon. But
Yeah.
for me, the morning session was great. We had 3 different leaders within our greater community all come speak with an eye to housing. Availability for sure, affordability kind of goes hand in glove with that. But the first person we heard from was our mayor, and talking about density, talking about making housing space and building space more available. So it's good to have a connection with our local government to know that there's an eye to that need in our space. We heard from the leader at ICCF, who is building affordable housing across our community, and they're doing some great things and getting people housed, which is great to hear about. And then we heard from the leader of Home Repair Services, which is a group that helps people who need some help with either do it yourself or some support with keeping places up in town. And for me, those things, again, going back to the mission, just dovetail so nicely. It's not just about what we do, but can we partner with others out there who are also making life better, specifically around this idea of housing. And it was great to hear from those 3.
I agree. ICCF puts on a homebuyer class. I think they said they do it, bi-weekly or monthly. And he just randomly asked, does anybody in the audience volunteer? And I looked around and there were so many volunteers from our association there. And that isn't even driven by the association. Those are just members that have signed up to get involved in that terrific organization. And Home Repair Services, he had also mentioned that we were one of the original groups that helped to get that thing going in terms of funding. It's GRAR lent their support in the early days, and we consistently volunteer there. Our GRAR group has always gone there and had a volunteer day. And over the years, we've had the GRAR Service Day that we've had, where we've done a lot of work there building cabinets. In fact, I think I was on your team one year a few years ago.
It's been a while, but you're right.
Building cabinets or benches, but some great organizations. Our second half of the day, after lunch, we heard from an RPAC trustee at a state level and a local RPAC trustee, Carrie Voss, who who
Realtor of the Year last year.
State Realtor of the Year last year, and they talked a little bit about their involvement with RPAC and some of the benefits to that, and then they talked about some of the volunteerism that they do in and around both state and local associations and even at the national level. And then we quickly went into 2 panels that were focused on 3 Rookie of the Years and what their experience was like, reflecting back that year that they did all this business and won that award, and then where their career has gone from there, and then 3 Young Professional of the Year winners from the past. So we got to hear from those 2 panels, and they provided a ton of insight to members, especially some of the members that were sitting in that room that are early into their careers. I got to talk to a few. This was like their 3rd month in the business, I saw them sitting there and engaged them, and they were excited to hear from these panelists. And they realized they were in the same shoes that they are now, and how did they get their business going, and what were some of the mistakes they made, the things they learned from. So it was a great program that YPN put on. Yeah. They also delivered at the very end the first award for the Emerging Leader. It's a new YPN award that they're going to give out based on people that are YPN members and part of that committee. And one of our affiliates, Cody Harding, won. Okay. So congrats to Cody if you're watching, or if you know Cody. Great guy. He's involved in so much stuff around here, and thank you for all you do for us here at GRAR. Adam, what do we have coming up at GRAR this month in November?
Well, obviously the awards banquet is on the horizon. The emails are starting to circulate about those. But I think the one that you're asking me about in particular is the Euchre tournament. And that is coming up November 12th from 2 to 4. And that is going to benefit that schoolhouse fund that we talked about earlier. So that'll be a good one. Definitely on the lighthearted side of things, a good chance to get together with a lot of our friends and maybe people you haven't met yet. So come on out for that. I think that happens here at the Grar building, does it not?
I think it's down in the classroom.
Okay, yep.
Um,
But remember the date, November 12th, 2 to 4.
You can find information on the Facebook page, the newsletter, whatever avenue you like to take your information in. And you tip me off perfectly to talk about the annual awards banquet and installation that we have coming up. That's going to be on December 5th from 10 to 12:30. That is an event that sells out every single year. It's always at Frederick Meyer Gardens, which is just an incredible venue to have it at. The backdrop is beautiful. They typically give us an opportunity to walk around a little bit and experience the gardens while we're there. I really encourage you, if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't signed up for that, or maybe this is a first time for you, it's one of the great things that Grar puts on for
It's a real
membership.
highlight every year. Yeah.
We have a gorgeous spread that they put out for breakfast. It's a tremendous networking opportunity to see some of the most engaged members in our whole real estate community. And I think the best part is we're highlighting the people that are doing amazing things around here. So we've got awards winners that will be named off across the board. Anything from somebody that is doing charitable work. We in fact have one of our past award winners that is doing charitable work now nominated at the NAR level. And so we'll find out here in a couple weeks how he did at that NAR level, Brian Bovin. So congrats to Brian for even that nomination.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll name the Realtor of the Year, the Young Professional of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, all sorts of other awards, some fun stuff like, most interesting properties that have been sold. Rehabs. There's a lot of things that happen at it, but it's a great event. You'll see your board of directors for next year get installed. You'll hear a nice little speech from Duffy, our incoming president. So if you haven't signed up, I'm going to encourage you to do it. That wraps up most of the events that I can think of that we have coming up. So to wrap up ours, give me a little insight. This is your second time on the board.
Yeah.
What are your takeaways? What have you enjoyed?
Takeaways would first be this. Every board is different. And so far, every board that I've been on here at Grar has been wonderful. I think that each group is a different mix of personalities and skills, and it's great to experience all of those. And then each year has a different leader as president. And I'll just take this opportunity to say how much I've enjoyed your leadership this year. I'm just present, Scott, to the sense that you are you pour into preparation. You're always ready to go, and even if you're 10 times more prepared than me for any given meeting, you don't throw any shade on me for maybe not being at that same level. You just lead, and I want to say how much I appreciate that. It's been a great example to me. This year in particular. It's been a fun group. I gotta say, I hope you've experienced it in a similar way. We've really been able to move the needle on some changes. I think there's been good dialogue and debate when needed around the table, and I just think it's more than just keeping a well-oiled machine, which Grar is, thanks to its staff and leadership. More than just doing that, I would say that this year it just has really kind of opened up a window to membership. I see how people interact with you, and it's with a great deal of admiration. And I don't just mean the board, but at events, I see members coming to you. So it's been a special year for me to be able to watch you do what you do. So that's one of the big things that stands out to me. I hope you don't mind.
Well, I am blushing a little bit.
Putting the spotlight on you, but I mean it.
Thank you for 2 entire terms as a board. We've got a couple of you guys, and 2 of them happen to be leaving this year. I can already sort of sense the hole that they leave. We have great people coming in to replace them, but having that long-term leadership at Grar balanced with new exciting ideas that we get from new people, I think is that perfect balance that we have. And I'm very thankful that you'll be here next year to keep that experience that you have sitting on the board here for us.
Well, that term continues, but I'm always more excited for new leadership.
Yeah.
So any of you out there thinking about it, get engaged. Ask what to do. Ask how to get elected. Let's keep
the trend coming.
greening the leadership tree for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for service. GRAR members, appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions for us, we're very easy to get a hold of. You can find us on the website. All of our cell phones, emails are on there. We'd love to engage with you. Enjoy your month selling houses.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Scott.